How a desire for religious freedom or land, or both, led to colonies. Today we tell about the movement of European settlers throughout northeastern America, and we tell how the separate colonies developed in this area. The Puritans were one of the largest groups from England to settle in the northeastern area called Massachusetts. They began arriving in 1630. The Puritans had formed the Massachusetts Bay Company in England. The king had given the company an area of land between the Charles and Merrimack rivers. The Puritans were Protestants who did not agree with the Anglican Church. The Puritans wanted to change the church to make it more holy. They were able to live as they wanted in Massachusetts. Soon, they became the largest religious group. By 1690, 50,000 people were living in Massachusetts. Puritans thought their religion was the only true religion and everyone should believe in it. They also believed that church leaders should let the local government and all people in the colony should pay to support the Puritan church. The Puritans thought it was the job of government leaders to tell people what to believe. Some people did not agree with the Puritans who had become leaders of the colony. One of those who disagreed was a Puritan minister named Roger Williams. Roger Williams believed, as all Puritans did, that other European religions were wrong. He thought the native Indian religions were wrong too, but he did not believe in trying to face others to agree with him. He thought that it was a sin to punish or kill anyone in the name of Christianity, and he thought that only church members should pay to support their church. Roger Williams began speaking and writing about his idea. He wrote a book saying it was wrong to punish people for having different beliefs. Then he said that the European settlers were stealing the Indian land. He said the King of England had no right to permit people to settle on land that was not his, but belonged to the Indian. The Puritan leader of Massachusetts Bay Colony forced Roger Williams to leave the colony in 1636. He traversed south. He bought land from local Indians and started a city province. The Parliament in England gave him permission to establish a new colony, Rhode Island, with province as its capital. As a colony, Rhode Island accepted people of all religious beliefs, including Catholics, Quaker, Jews, or even people who denied the existence of God. Roger Williams also believed that governments should have no connection to a church. This idea of separating church and state was very new. Later, it became one of the most important of all America's governing ideas. Other colonies were started by people who left Massachusetts to seek land. One was Connecticut. A group led by Puritan minister Thomas Hooker left Boston in 1636 and went west. They settled near the Connecticut River. Others soon joined them. Other groups from Massachusetts traveled north to find new homes. The kings of England had given to France a large piece of land in the north. The French divided it. John Mason took what later became the colony of New Hampshire. Ferdinando George took the area that later became the state of Maine. It never became a colony, however. It remained a part of Massachusetts until after the United States was created. The area known today as New York State was settled by the Dutch. They call it New Netherlands. Their country was the Netherlands. It was a great world power, with colonies all over the world. A business called the Dutch West India Company owned most of the colony. The Dutch claimed American land because of the exploration by Henry Hudson, an Englishman working for the Netherlands. The land the Dutch claim was between the Puritans in the north and Lincoln tobacco farmer in the south. The Dutch were not interested in settling the territory. They wanted to earn money. The Dutch West Indian Company built trading posts on the river claimed by the Netherlands. People in Europe wanted to buy goods made from the skin of animals trapped here. In 1622, the Dutch West Indian Company brought to Iceland from the local Indians. The island was Manhattan Island and Long Island. Traditional stories say the Dutch paid for the island with small trade with some trade goods worth about $24. The Dutch West Indian Company tried to find people to settle in America, but few Dutch wanted to leave Europe. So the colony welcomed people from other colonies and other countries. These people built a town on the Manhattan Island. They call it New Amsterdam. Amsterdam. It was soon full of people who had arrived on the ship from faraway places. It was said you could hear as many as 18 different languages spoken in New Amsterdam. In 1655, the government of New Netherlands took control of a nearby Swedish colony on Delaware Bay. In 1664, the English did the same to the Dutch. The English seized control of New Amsterdam and called it New York. That ended Dutch control of the territory that now is the state of New York, New Jersey, and Delaware. Most of the Dutch in New Amsterdam did not leave. The English permitted everyone to stay. They left the Dutch have religious freedom. The Dutch were just not in control anymore. The Duke of York owned the area now. He was the brother of King Charles II of England. The king gave some of the land near New York to two friends, Sir George Carteret and Lord John Berkeley. They called it New Jersey after the English island where Carteret was born. The two men wrote a plan of government for their colony. It created an assembly that represented the settler. It provided for freedom of religion. Men could vote in New Jersey whatever their religion. Soon people from all parts of Europe were living in New Jersey. Then the King Charles took control of the area, he sent a royal governor to rule, but the colonists were permitted to make their own law through the elected assembly. The King of England did the same. In each colony he controlled. He collected taxes from the people who lived there, but permitted them to govern themselves. One religious group that was not welcome in England was the Quaker. Quakers called themselves Friends. They believed that each person has an inner light that leads them to God. Quakers believe they do not need a religious leader to tell them what is right, so they have no clergy. Quakers believe that all people are equal. The Quakers in England refused to recognize the king as more important than anyone else. They also refused to pay taxes to support the Anglican churches. Quakers believe that it is always wrong to kill, so they would not fight even when they were forced to join the army. They also refused to promise loyalty to a king or government or flags or anyone but God. The English did not like the Quakers for all these reasons. Many Quakers wanted to leave England, but they were not welcome in most American colonies. One Quaker changed this. His name was William Penn. William Penn was not born a Quaker. He became one as a young man. His father was an Anglican and a good friend of the king's. King Charles borrowed money from William's father. When his father died, William Penn asked that the debt be paid with land in America. In 1681, the king gave William Penn land, which the king council named Spennyville near, meaning Penwood. The Quakers now had their own colony. It was between the Puritan in the north and the Anglican in the south. William Penn said the colony should be a place where everyone could live by Quaker ideas. That means treating all people as equal and honoring all religion. It also meant that anyone could be elected. In most other colonies, people could believe any religion, but they could not vote or hold office unless they were a member of the majority church. In Pennsylvania, all religions were equal. This Making of a Nation program was written by Nancy and produced by Paul Thompson.